So many black women think that we have 4C hair automatically. But let me just tell you, this is the real 4C hair. Her hair is soaking wet, but you would think her hair is dry. So what we did, we had to put her in 10 sections instead of 6 sections that I'll do for any other client who has a different type hair. It took me 30 minutes instead of 10 minutes just to get through and blow dry her hair accurately. It took me 2 to 3 times more hydration, leave-in conditioner, and heat protecting serum to get her hair as moisturized. It took me 40 minutes to keep her on the steamer instead of 20 minutes. So that way, when I silk her hair out, all that moisture is penetrating her hair and it looks like that. Now, like I said, it took us 2 treatments before we could even get to this point. Before we could even get to this point, she had to get 2 treatments and she had to get 2 strand twists just to get the porosity to get back in her hair, so that way the hair can be nice and naturally moisturized. But as you can see, her hair is still giving puffiness at the end, even though we blow dried her out really accurately the way we needed to. So a lot of people don't know, with 4C hair, you have to take extra good care of it before it could even get silked out and look like this and actually stay like this. So many clients with 4C hair think when they get out the chair that their hair will not puff up. If you do not have the right products, if you have not had the right treatments, if you have not had the right products instilled in your hair, and you haven't had the right care for your hair, if your porosity is low, that silk press will not come out like this. Look at that. It's beautiful, and beautiful. But you guys need to know, in order for her hair to even look like this, you have to get those treatments. Treatments are very important. You have to follow education. You cannot just jump into getting a silk press knowing you have low porosity, knowing that your hair is super dry and you haven't done anything to it to get it any type of moisture. We started off months ago. This is her first silk press ever in her life, and this is 4C hair. Everybody does not have 4C hair. It takes so much more energy, initiative, and look at these results. Oh my goodness. It's giving what it needs to give. It's looking like any other hair type when they silked out, right? Her hair is not puffing up. All I told her, since she's a virgin with silk presses, to make sure that she wraps that hair in silk, and just look at the shine bouncing off her hair. Man, it looks so good.
I want to talk about the comments that were left under this video, right? So first of all, there were a number of white women like, do I have 4C hair? No. Did I watch this entire tutorial anyway? Yes. Like, I've made videos before talking about the fact that whenever you go to a black hair care tutorial, there's going to be a bunch of non-black women. Usually, like, it's white women. I say 80% of the time it's white women, and that's probably like an undercount. But there's going to be a bunch of them in the comments like, yeah, like, I'm so obsessed with this hair type. I'm always watching these hair videos. And I always just be like, why? Like, what is the point of that? Because this is my thing. Years ago, I used to wear straight weaves, right? I used to get sew-ins. Okay, so sometimes I would look up a hair tutorial. Say I'm trying to learn how to use a curling wand, right? And it will be a video of a white girl, you know, using a curling wand on her real hair. And I would watch that video because I had a straight weave in my head. So, you know, I'm working with the same thing there, right? Okay, using that background knowledge, I never understand why y'all be in the comments of these 4C hair tutorials. Like, you don't have the same hair type. You're not wearing a 4C weave. Like, why are you here? It's just so odd. And it really goes back to the fact that y'all feel like y'all need to be in every space, every single space. There's never a time where you're like, maybe let me just let these folks, you know, like, come together and do their thing. No, you got to be in the mix all of the time. Second of all, I want to talk about the comment that I saw from a black woman who also has 4C hair. And she was like, I don't like the tone in this video because it feels very comparative and almost like it's putting 4C hair down, right? So this tone, oh, it takes me, you know, 6 sections to do this on other hair, 10 sections on this hair. You know, it takes this many minutes to do this on other hair, this many minutes on this hair, yada, 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 so and so and so, right? So she was offended by that. And I see where she's coming from because, like, some other people said, yeah, you know, like, it paints this picture that 4C hair is unmanageable, yada, 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 so and so and so, right? Other people were also like, well, it's the truth. It takes longer to do on your hair, so what do you want her to say, right? Which is also true. But this is my thing I've said before, okay? You think your hair is unmanageable and it takes so long to do whatever because you're not supposed to be doing that with your hair. That's just the reality. this is the reality. My hair's not straight, okay? So if I'm attempting to get it straight, yes, it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort because that's not what my hair is. So in order to get it to be something that it's not, you're going to have to put a lot of energy into that, right? It's the same way. Let's just sit here and imagine that we lived in a world that was completely flipped, right? Let's pretend that the beauty standard was blackness and that white women were sitting around trying to get 4C hair. Think about the white women you know that you've seen, that you've come across in your life. Think about how their hair looks, right? Think about what they would have to do to their hair to get it to look like mine, okay? And I'm going to try to find a picture of my 4C hair straight after washing it, like when it's shrunk down and crunchy, okay? Like, think about what they would have to do to get their hair to look like that. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of energy because that's not what their hair does. Like, it's just not. You know what I'm saying? So why are we sitting here acting surprised that 4C hair is considered unmanageable when we doing shit that we not supposed to do with it? Ask anybody who can braid. And in fact, there were braiders in the comments like, oh, 4C hair is the best hair to braid with because that's what our hair is supposed to be doing. Those are black hairstyles that we came up with for our hair. So of course, our hair is the best type of hair for those types of hairstyles. When you see a white person or even a biracial, because biracial's hair, I mean, it's not usually white people hair, but it's also not black people hair. It's something in between because they're in between, right? When those people try to get braids, it don't look right and it don't last. Like, it'll start unraveling on its own because it's literally just not made for their hair, right? It's made for kinky hair types. Those are the people who invented it. We invented it for our hair. That's who it works on the best, right? Like, people just got to live in reality. We just got to live in reality. Sure, yeah, 4C hair is going to take much more time and effort to silk press because it's not supposed to be straight. It's the exact opposite of straightness. Like, yeah, it's going to take longer to silk press than a looser hair texture because clearly you trying to make it be loose. Like, clearly, right? I feel like a lot of people with 4C hair have an inferiority complex regarding their hair because of this. You know, I'm talking about I feel, but no, this is a fact, right? A lot of people with 4C hair have an inferiority complex regarding our hair because we are held to a standard that we should not be held to. That's just the honest to God truth. Why am I being held to a standard of loose hair when my hair is not loose? It's the same way again. If we lived in a flipped world and white women was trying to get afros, they would have some, you know, some inferiority complexes about their hair because that's just not how their hair is. They would be sitting around talking about, oh my gosh, you know, it takes a bunch of time and effort to get an afro. I bet it does. I bet it does. I made a video, had to be about a month ago. If I can remember the title, I'll put it up here. There was a woman, and mind you, she didn't look like a black woman. She looked like mixed or something, right? But she had a straight weave in, and she had like wet the weave, you know, did like a wash and go, whatever. And she was talking about, yeah, you know, like white people ain't got nothing to complain about. They got this straight hair. They could just wet it and leave, you know, like if I was rocking my real hair, it would have took so much longer, yada, yada, yada. And I'm confused because why you can't just do that with your real hair? Like, why is it that people with straight hair can just wet their hair and go and it's considered, you know, acceptable in society's eyes, but black women with kinky hair cannot do that, right? And that's why we sit around talking about our hair is so unmanageable because we're holding it to a standard that it should not be held to. My hair is not unmanageable. It's only unmanageable because you think that it should look like a white person's hair or an Asian person's hair or something. Like, yeah, I mean, when you hold it to that standard, I guess it is unmanageable.